So the first thing that I want to talk about is something that we call Empower Alexandria. And Empower Alexandria really is a community-driven based idea for finding big solutions to big challenges that we have here in Alexandria. Now there are three elements of Empower Alexandria that we really want to focus on. The first one is core services to our citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, if we cannot do core services right, the function of local government, we're doing something wrong. So those core services are public safety, public health, and public education. And very quickly on each of those. On public safety, it is support to our police, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians here in Alexandria because, frankly, they're the folks that keep us safe on a 24-hour basis every day. We have to continue to support their efforts. But the other piece that we have to remember as part of that public safety is both our sheriff and our Commonwealth's attorney because they are focused on the criminal justice system, reducing recidivism here in Alexandria, and setting those who may have gone astray on a path toward being a great citizen. And so the work that Dana Lawhorn and Brian Porter have brought to their offices, as well as our public safety officials, we have to make sure that we continue to support them. The second thing is on public health. And so when I think of public health, I think of both mind and body. That really focuses on our Parks and Recreation District. And one of the things that we unfortunately have found over the last number of years is because of some of the key challenges here in Alexandria, our Parks Department has suffered as a result of the funding. And so in the last 10 years, unfortunately, because of cuts, our specific Parks Department has lost half of its budget. Half of its budget. And the reason it's losing half is because we have challenges in other areas. There is just not enough revenue coming into the city. So we have to continue to focus on our parks, in particular our open space, to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our citizens. Because, ladies and gentlemen, open space is important, but maintaining that open space is just as important. And the final piece on the first element is on public education. And what can I say about public education but more of that?
Here, here.
Our Governor, Terry McAuliffe, in a speech a couple of years ago said, education is the secret sauce to economic development. And he is absolutely right. Whether it's pre-K or K-12, or frankly moving somebody from K-12 into the workforce, by doubling down on our education spending, both on infrastructure and on instruction, we're going to make sure that Alexandria educates the best kids to send them into the workforce to keep our region humming. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Northern Virginia is the engine for Virginia's growth. And we in Alexandria absolutely have a responsibility to educate our children in a way that sends them into the workforce as productive citizens, so frankly, they can take care of all of us, because they are the next generation. The second pillar is something I call economic sustainability. And that's really focusing on Alexandria's economy. And in particular, it's focusing on something I call the economic crescent of Alexandria. And that, frankly, is along our metro lines and along planned infrastructure improvements that we're going to have. Economic development and infrastructure and economic development in Alexandria is really focused on the BRT on Route 1, all of our metro lines, and the planned West End Transitway, which will come right down this particular area. That is smart growth, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to focus on that because we can no longer not afford to focus on economic development in a way that doesn't allow us to grow our revenue. And I am committed to doing that as part of the Empower Alexandria movement and as a part of a member of council. The other piece about economic sustainability, frankly, is focusing on our small businesses. So our small businesses are actually invested twice in our city. Not only are they focused from a business perspective, but they are also focused as citizens. Because almost all of our small businesses here in Alexandria, those people also live here. So they invest in their business, but then they are also invested in our roads, in our schools, in our public safety, and we need to continue to support those small businesses. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you're standing in a small business that is supporting not only you, but also a family history in Alexandria. And finally, the third pillar of Empower Alexandria is something that I call civic innovation. So what is civic innovation? It is asking really hard questions about how do we do things differently? I told my wife a couple of days ago that I feel like in Alexandria we are on the fiscal treadmill, where we're working really hard and we're running really fast and we're not really making any progress. And we see it every year when we have a budget deficit of $20 million or $30 million, and the only thing left that we can do is go back out to our property owners and ask them to pay for more. That has been the cycle over the last number of years. Ladies and gentlemen, that model is unsustainable for the 21st century. So that's going to challenge us to think about doing things differently. How do we leverage our public investments? How do we leverage our public assets to make sure that we don't have to go out to our property owners every year? Now, I will not promise you that I'm going to fix that next year. It is not something that we can do overnight. But it's going to require new structures and new authorities, and frankly, going to Richmond and asking them to give us the ability to make our own choices and to see ourselves through here in Alexandria. That's right. And so speaking of Richmond, the thing I do want to say to people is I'm really excited about the progress that we made with our delegates in the House in this past year. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to expand our network of influence in Alexandria and go back out to those delegates and those senators who live in Southwest Virginia, who live in Southside, who live in Newport News, and tell them that their engine in Virginia is our engine in Alexandria, and we need their help. My new line that I'm going to start using for anything going forward is, in Alexandria, you come for the history, but you stay for the future. Because we all know that that is the case. The reason that people come to Alexandria, the reason that our tourist dollars are up, the reason that people want to have a vibrant Old Town, a vibrant Delray, is they want to make sure that they're part of the history of Alexandria, and that's why we bring them here. But how do we keep them here? And we give them a sustainable path for the future. Come for the history and stay for the future. On June 12th, I hope to do that as one of the Democratic nominees for Alexandria City Council. I can't thank you all for your support and being here today. I look forward to the campaign ahead. And if you have any questions about things that we're going to do, what we're committed to, and how we really are going to make Alexandria empowering for future generations, let's have a conversation. Thank you all very much.